Braun Strowman has sent a message to Jacob Fatu following the men's Royal Rumble match. The monster of all monsters threw Fatu out of the ring during the match, thus eliminating him. As fans had expected, Jacob Fatu had a powerful showing in the men's Royal Rumble match. He lasted almost 25 minutes and threw out 4 superstars in the match. Unfortunately, Fatu was eliminated by Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has now shared a post that shows the exact moment he threw Fatu out of the ring. He also wrote the following: "It won't be a stretch to call Fatu one of the fastest rising stars in the history of WWE. He debuted in WWE less than a year ago and has already become one of the most popular stars in the company. Fatu will receive a massive main event push somewhere down the line." Fatu eliminated Rey Mysterio, Chad Gable, Jimmy USO, and Andrade from the men's Royal Rumble match. Things didn't go how he wanted though, and he will seemingly try to get back at the monster of all monsters for costing him a shot at the main event of WrestleMania 41. The 2025 Royal Rumble was filled with unexpected twists and high-octane action. But one moment that stood out above the rest occurred when 2 of the most dominant forces in professional wrestling collided in a showdown that fans had been dreaming about for years. The moment came when Braun Strowman, known as the Monster Among Men, faced off against Jacob Fatu, the Samoan powerhouse who has made waves in the wrestling world. But what no one anticipated was how the contest would end, on a note of disrespect that sent shockwaves through the entire WWE Universe. The Royal Rumble match is always a spectacle, a battle royale that pits 30 of the best WWE superstars against each other in a contest of endurance, strength, and strategy. As the final minutes of the match drew near, the energy in the arena reached a fever pitch. The Rumble's unpredictability had already made for an exciting night, with surprising returns and shocking eliminations. But it was the clash between Strowman and Fatu that set the stage for a new chapter in their rivalry, and a moment that would leave fans talking for weeks to come. The 2 men had been circling one another for several minutes, with neither willing to back down. Fatu, a master of power moves and high-impact defense, looked every bit the equal of Strowman, a giant who had bulldozed his way through the WWE roster for years. The battle between them was a brutal exchange of fists, power slams, and signature moves, with the 2 superstars trying to outlast each other in the chaotic environment of the Rumble match. As the minutes ticked down and the intensity mounted, the match reached a critical point. With 10 superstars left in the ring, the action became more frantic, and alliances shifted constantly. The Rumble is a game of survival, and every man in the ring knew that the only way to win was to outlast everyone else and throw their opponents over the top rope. Strowman and Fatu had locked eyes, each man determined to prove that they were the true monster in the match. The WWE Universe could feel the tension between them, knowing that when the time came, only one could stand victorious. It was a moment that could have gone either way. Strowman, with his years of experience in the Rumble, had the crowd on his side as he methodically eliminated one competitor after another. Fatu, however, was no stranger to the Rumble's chaos, and his Samoan heritage gave him an unparalleled resilience. For a moment, it looked like Fatu might have the upper hand as he managed to stun Strowman with a massive Samoan drop that shook the ring. The arena erupted in a mix of disbelief and excitement. Fatu had just rocked the giant, and the fans were on the edge of their seats. But Braun Strowman, never one to stay down for long, quickly regrouped. He surged back to his feet, a furious look in his eyes, and charged at Fatu with his signature intensity. The collision between the 2 giants was deafening, but it was clear that Strowman was not going to let Fatu take the upper hand. In a breathtaking sequence, Strowman lifted Fatu and, with a Herculean effort, tossed him over the top rope, sending the Samoan powerhouse crashing to the floor below. The crowd was in disbelief. Jacob Fatu, one of the most formidable competitors in the match, had just been eliminated by Strowman. The moment of victory for Strowman was fleeting, however, as he didn't simply celebrate his triumph. Instead, he turned to the fallen Fatu and sent a message that would be felt long after the Rumble had ended. As Fatu struggled to regain his composure on the outside, Strowman leaned over the ropes and yelled at him, his voice dripping with disdain. "That's what happens when you step into the ring with a real monster, kid," Strowman shouted, his words echoing through the arena. "You may be tough, but you're not on my level. Go back to where you belong and stop pretending you're in the big leagues." The WWE Universe gasped in shock at Strowman's words. While Strowman is known for his brash and sometimes disrespectful demeanor, this moment took things to a new level. His words weren't just trash talk. They were a calculated attack designed to dismantle Fatu's credibility. Strowman wasn't just eliminating Fatu from the match. He was attempting to eliminate any doubt about his own dominance. The message was clear. In Strowman's world, there was no room for another man to rival his monstrous presence. Fatu, who had been eliminated with grace and resilience, looked up from the ringside area and locked eyes with Strowman. The look of sheer defiance on Fatu's face was unmistakable. The Samoan star wasn't going to let Strowman's disrespect slide without consequence. His response was simple, yet powerful. He raised his middle finger towards Strowman, a gesture that spoke volumes without saying a word. The tension between the two men was palpable. Strowman, standing tall in the ring, had made his statement. But Fatu's response was equally loud as the crowd rallied behind the Samoan powerhouse, sensing that this rivalry was far from over. Fatu had been eliminated from the match, but in that moment, it was clear that Strowman had made an enemy who would not be forgotten. In the days that followed the Royal Rumble, social media exploded with commentary about the confrontation between Strowman and Fatu. Fans were split. Some backed Strowman's actions, arguing that his dominance in the ring justified his trash talk. Others rallied behind Fatu, calling out Strowman for crossing a line and accusing him of disrespecting a worthy opponent. Regardless of the side taken, one thing was certain: the rivalry between Strowman and Fatu was just beginning. Rumors began to swirl that WWE officials were already considering a potential feud between the two men. Both Strowman and Fatu were known for their larger-than-life personas, and a feud between them had the potential to become one of the most intense and physical rivalries in recent memory. Fans began speculating about the possibility of a one-on-one match at one of Wwe's biggest events, such as WrestleMania or SummerSlam, where the two giants would finally settle their differences in a contest of pure strength and dominance. But for now, Braun Strowman's message to Jacob Fatu remained fresh in the minds of wrestling fans. His disrespectful words were not just a declaration of victory, they were a declaration of war. The WWE Universe knew that this rivalry was far from over, and that the next time Strowman and Fatu met in the ring, it would be nothing short of explosive.